Yeah. Great vibe. Beautiful. Everything was beautiful around this time, right? Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What's the meaning behind the title of the album, The Law of Least Effort?
Um, the law of least efforts comes from the actual book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. And the process of actually creating this album was to um what we did was fulfilled in effort, but not overdone, not over polished, not over, like it's like, so I guess the best example to give you is like the creative process between Roz and myself. We weren't overthinking anything. Like the verses, whatever came out, that's what it was. I didn't write double the verses. The beats that came, he gave me, that's what it was. We didn't have to redo anything. So actually maximizing your effort with the least amount of effort. You know what I'm saying?
Where I feel that. I feel that. So, how did you guys get together and decide to do a whole project?
Um,
Yeah, Roz, take that.
oh yeah, yeah. It came from I did a remix of John Doe, who DJ John Doe did a song with Invisible Hands. Actually, they did a project together. I think it was 5 songs, and Eloh was on, and I did a remix for it, Jackhammer, and I liked the way Eloh sounded on my production. So we kind of connected from doing that, and we did one song, and I think we were both like, we like how this sounds, so we were like, let's do some more, and yeah, it turned into the project from there. So it was really like, organic, natural. It wasn't forced. It was just kind of like, let's feel this out, and yeah, just the musical chemistry was there as well as the personal. So, it came from that. Like, I think a lot of people, you start up doing a song, excuse me, and then you just kind of go from there. That's how this came to be.
Yes, sir.
Were the beats on the album made for him, or did he just pick a bunch from your stash?
Most of them were made for Eloh. Most of them were kind of made with him in mind. Yeah, like to me, he has a certain, I mean, it spans over an area, but he has a certain style where, to my ears, to my producer ears, as far as getting creative, I had certain ideas of what I would like to hear him over, what I think he would sound good. So most of it was made for him. There was a couple that I had already that I, sent his way, and like, what do you think about this? And if they fit, they fit. But the majority was made with also like the project in mind, Eloh in mind, like the flow of the project, to make sure they all fit together and, kind of moved in the same direction, complement each other, compliment him. I also wanted to kind of, show a couple different things I could do, obviously. But yeah, the majority was made for Eloh for sure. Yeah, for Eloh for this particular project as well. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now, on the song Free Will, you have a lyric where you say that we're all suckers for logging onto the internet. What makes us all suckers?
All right, check. I see the duck goose trying to steal the wave. Brothers holy matrimony to hip hop, I'm engaged. Off stage, I'm a sage who been slightly enraged from the childhood trauma. I'm honored to be the first 08901 slang slinger to get a middle finger to your so-called honor. We monitor my big brother. Yeah, a bunch of suckers we all are, cause we all log on to the worldwide fucking since you on. Go to ElohKush.com, cop a book or CD, check my tour dates, watch a video, join the mailing list. Every month I give a book away for free. This is free will at its best. Peach and cranberry wallabies whenever I'm lamping on the west. Think mama got the devil's curse inside her chest. Caution the thought, cancer has formed from years of smoking Newports. Sliding down my face, slid tears, face fears often. Nightmares of multi-faced family members laying in the coffin. I struggle with this all, but I get through it. Then I get to it, cause progression's the only thing that concerns me. Along with health mentally, spiritually, physically. I told the bulldog that won't jam. I am the grandson of Noah, first seed of Ham.
Wada-da-dang, wada-da-dang-dang. Hang them from tree limbs and show it to their seedlings. I need a refill of free will. If I don't kill you, my seeds will. It's hard for me to be still.
Information, you know, it's the same science like the Registration Act, you know. World Wide Web is like, you know, we was always taught to watch out for the New World Order, or, you know, they're gonna come to your house and register you and this and this and that, like how the Nazis did. However, they don't have to do that. They made it likable to log on. You put all your information online anytime, so we become suckers in that degree. Like, you know, we willingly give our information up for entertainment or fun, you know, or to be exclusive, you know. So in order to get onto any type of site or anything, you have to give your information up. Be date of birth, blah, 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 whatever. So, you know, it's just like, you know, just a thought that I had in my helmet and to eject it real quick, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Like,
Facts, right?
what? Yeah, I mean, but what's the alternative? You know?
I mean, the alternative is not to there ain't no alternative in 2021 unless you live in the mountains, you know, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that is
like,
what it is.
It's like, you know, they tell you to establish credit, but you got to have a credit card. Like, you have to go into some kind of debt or see some kind of money being moved in order to get a loan or to get, you know, to one day get a house. It's a trap. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think so too. If I may add on, like, even though obviously didn't have anything to do with that lyric, like, I think it's also, it's just being conscientious of what you want to spend your time on, right? You know what I mean? And like, how much do you want to entertain yourself versus maybe learning stuff or maybe working on something you want to do, or just actually relaxing, you know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the stuff we do online that we look at as like, I'm just relaxing, you're not actually, you know what I mean? I think you're overfeeding your brain information that you don't actually benefit from anyways. So I think even though, again, I had nothing to do with the lyrics on that or any of them, but it's just a matter of like, how do you want to spend your time? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm on my phone for an hour, or if I spend an hour making beats, like, it's not even close. You know what I mean? Like, one I get a lot out of, and the other one you might be like, yeah, man, I could have spent that time wiser. And like, there's benefits to it, but it's definitely, spend your time wisely is how I look at it, for sure. Yep.
That's true as well. That's definitely true. Okay, Elo, you also have a book of a collection of poems and essays called A Few Days in the County Maze.
Yes.
How is writing rhymes different from writing poems or essays?
Maybe the cadence is different in a certain degree, but you know, the poet is, the MC is the poet. It's where I started from, you know. Thinking about a lot of the great poets who I followed, you know, but just, it's numerous names I could throw out there, but poetry is my first love, you know, before MCing, because poetry it's just, for me, it's a different way of expression, but it's still a rhyming cadence, you know what I'm saying? But you don't have to always rhyme on it either, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, for instance, a lot of times in the book, I would express myself thinking that it's starting off as a rhyme, but it's also a detailed version of a rhyme, a more detailed version of a rhyme, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see it.
Okay. And where can people get that book?
You can get the book signed from me at elohkush.com. Every book that you order, I'm signing it personally and giving it out to you. You can also find my book at Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's anywhere online, you can find that. And where else is it at? Well, basically those three places are all you need: Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, elohkush.com. We going direct to the consumer, you know, no middleman.
Word.
And you're getting the sign. So what's up?
So, Okay, the song Martyrs has a different sound. Raz, is the sound in the song a sample, or is that something that you played?
It's both actually. Like there's like a sample that that I manipulated on there. I changed the frequency of it up and down.
Love that. Love
And
that.
then
Get my say. Love that. I
thank
didn't
you,
mean to
thank
interrupt you, but that's my favorite joint right there, G.
you.
It was mine too. Mine too. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, so it has there's samples and there's some keys and some bass that I played. So it's those those two elements layered together. Well, you know, there's a couple of elements, but yeah, it's both samples and played things. Yeah, both.
Okay. Also, Eloh, you mentioned Malcolm Martin and Assad in the hook.
Yeah.
And in the last verse, you called Gandhi a bald head racist.
Yeah, truth.
Okay. Some
Gandhi
people,
did- Go ahead,
some people see Malcolm X as a racist, though.
yeah, but that's imperfect. That's totally incorrect.
Okay, but let's get there. Some people see Martin Luther King as a philanderer. Some people see
Right.
Assad Shakur as a murderer.
Correct.
What makes Gandhi, who is a person who did great things, different from Malcolm, Martin, and Assad? Three people
Out of
who
his-
also did great things.
He out of his mouth, his own mouth, he didn't like our people, the original people. He said that, you know, he was very prompt on that, you know. So in trying to align with his struggle and his actual plight for protesting and things like that, he was so against aligning himself with our people in any form or fashion. He didn't like the original man. He didn't like black man. You know what I'm saying? He loved he loved his people, which is nothing wrong with that. You love your people. But if you're a man of supposed to be of this great stature of, you know, a great, what they call him, a martyr, or they call him a great you know, whatever, you can't have that hate gene in your blood. You can hate your oppressor, you can hate oppression, you can hate the people that's do, but you to go against another ethnicity just because of the hue of their skin, no other reason that you have no other reason, then yeah, you're a sucker too. You're a racist. He wouldn't align himself with our people. It's just truth, you know. I don't have any problem with any hue or ethnicity on the planet, but I do have problem with your principles. Your principles and your character is what judges me, not your hue of your skin, not anything, not your, you know, what you do with your principles. And his principles are standing on mud. So yeah, he did some great things for his people, but he if it was me out there, they wouldn't, you know, he wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like our people in the struggle. Put it like that, without going so deep.
I want you to circle back to Malcolm X not being racist.
So IST means what? Perfection of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the race, he's trying to perfect the race, right? I don't think Malcolm's not a racist. He wasn't trying to perfect our race. He wasn't looking for civil rights. He was looking for human rights. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with civility. It had to do with being humane. We were being treated as inhumane. You understand what I'm saying?
Still are.
And still are. So his fight and his plight is a totally different one than Gandhi's will ever be. Ever be. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't do great things. I'm just saying he wasn't for us. He wasn't for us by us, you know?
Yeah.
That's why hip hop is the most beautiful culture in the world, because you can have like Raz and myself are from two different planets. But Raz is my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's my man right there. And the power of hip hop is so universal that you can go around the globe, not speak a lick of English or whatever language, but you put a hip hop song on beat on, you speak in the same language 24/7. And that's how that go.
Hip hop is universal. Hip hop has definitely shrunk the world. It's everywhere.
Absolutely. It's the hieroglyphics of the world.
Yeah.
It's the new hieroglyphics.
No
it's
doubt.
It's the new currency code. Hip hop. It's always been. You know, our culture is not old. Our culture is only 40-something years old. If I'm incorrect, correct me, but I think it's 47 years old right now, correct?
48, yeah.
48.
Mhm.
So that's infantile. I'm not even 48.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So we're still growing as a culture. And that's why we could bridge gaps, universal, everywhere. The power of word. Sound travels at 1,120 feet per second. You know what I'm saying? And what is said here, push play could be heard in Turkey or heard in Japan or heard in Denmark instantaneously. And the message is the message doesn't skip a beat.
Right. Yep. Sure.
Last question. What do you want people to take away from the law of least effort?
What did I say in that hook, Ross?
Which one? Which one?
Finding your purpose and working in your purpose.
Right.
That's what I take from it. I want you to think outside the box and don't be scared to be or eclectic or to push envelope like Ross did. That's your skill set. And never be scared to be yourself in the industry of duck goose right now, right, Ross?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, as far as what I wanted to do with the project was, give you something really good to listen to, and then I wanted to have somebody who would talk some intelligence over it. You know what I mean? Over my beats, like bring you some content. You know what I mean? Like bring you some lyrics and some song concept that might make you go, let me go research that. Let me research what he was talking about. What exactly did he mean by that? What exactly is this person he's referencing here or there? And yeah, just some music with some meat on the bones, if that makes sense. Something to digest, something to take in. That was definitely my intent as far as like producing the album. Wanted it to be, banging, wanted you to nod your head to it, wanted you to, hopefully make that face when you heard the beats and get into it. Like, what is this? What's going on? And then the MC to take it up from there. And, hopefully if you listen to it a couple of times, you might catch different things being said, the third and the fourth or the fifth or whatever listen, because I like many styles of hip hop, but I like that when I go back to it and go, wait, I didn't catch that before. Like a week ago or so, I was listening to Jungle Brothers, Done by the Forces of Nature. I know that album very, very well, but I feel like to this day, as many times as I heard it, I might discover a new song that wasn't my favorite song before, but now I'm like, what is that? And obviously that's a classic album. But the goal is to make something as great as something like that. Maybe one day, your stuff would be looked at as that's up for other people to decide, obviously. You know what I mean? But the goal is like that's the bar, So it could be that good. So you want to try to make something that'll stand the test of time as well. Hopefully, that's the goal, So yeah, just that kind of approach for sure. Take it serious. Enjoy the process too, like enjoy making the music. Hopefully that comes across so it's not too serious, but like something that's some meaning behind at the same time, not just being like thrown together. Like me and Eloh talked a bunch about, like what is the law of least effort exactly? And it definitely means like do your best work, make sure it's great, but don't like overanalyze things in a sense. That doesn't mean that it was easy to make for sure. You know what I mean? It was not an easy project to make. It wasn't super difficult either, but it wasn't like we just threw it together and there it was. Like, we put the right amount for us, the right amount of effort into making sure it was the way we wanted it to. And then, just kind of, we made sure we didn't overanalyze it in a sense, because that can kind of sometimes take away from it, I find, you know what I mean? So we wanted to make sure we didn't do that. I know sometimes when I make beats, I gotten good at that, but sometimes I can think about it while I'm making it. And it's kind of like, don't think, just use that creative side. And then once you're done, then listen to it, and then you think a little bit. Then you can analyze it a little bit. But the bottom line is too that I don't think people analyze music as much as you think when they listen to it. You know, I think they listen to it, and then if it hits them, then it's like, oh, I want to continue listening to this song. What else is on this project, and so forth. And then after that, you might start like digesting it a little bit more. But I mean, like the average listener doesn't digest it doesn't analyze it, excuse me, the way you do when you make it. That wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like they don't sit there and go like, you know, should this snare have been a little lower, a little higher in the mix? You just kind of go, I like this, or I don't like it, or, you know, I kind of like it, and then it might grow on you, but you don't go in there and just overanalyze things, or even just do that. That wouldn't make sense as a listener. So you got to keep that in mind when you create, I think, you know.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eloh Kush Ras Beats.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
No problem.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Word. I don't even know how this shit go. Set it off. Brother Malcolm had a goal, Martin Luther had a dream. Asada got locked and chose to be free. Yeah. Word. You know? Asada got locked and chose to be free. Brother Malcolm had a goal, Martin Luther had a dream. Asada got locked and chose to be free. Yeah.